And as Sharon mentioned, he is a self-advocate. Now, he's...
Can everyone hear me without the mic, first of all?
Oh, do you need them? Well, you know what? Let me ask the question, then I'll hand him the mic. So Tom is, as he mentioned, he is an integral part of our training. And all of our trainings throughout the state, when we do law enforcement training, that's healthcare training, we always take at least one or maybe two self-advocates to join us. Mm-hmm. Because we have maybe someone like Tom who can verbalize how he feels and what he thinks. We also bring individuals that are non-verbal, and then you get to interact and learn how to best communicate with somebody. We just don't have him here today.
Yeah, they drag me all over the place.
He comes all over the place. He's got great transportation system and support. So he's agreed to share his story with us today. And I think one of the things that's really important is not only is Tom diagnosed with autism, but he also has a chronic healthcare condition. Mm-hmm. And that sort of really makes him an expert. If I were, someone in the healthcare field, wanting to know about how someone with autism and dealing with healthcare constantly may have, some of the thoughts he might want to share, or you may want to ask him. So we're going to start by the interview so that you can learn more about his background.
Disclaimer, just real fast. I'm an expert in the medical field on me, nobody else.
Yes, but you'll get perspective. So
yeah,
that's
my perspective, yes. Yeah.
So,
sure.
Okay, so we just informed all of you, the audience, that you are a self-advocate and that you have autism. Mm-hmm. Can you describe your healthcare issues and how long you've been dealing with them? So, Tom, let me get this to you. This is not going to be easy. But...
This is going to get
Okay, I'm going to let you hold on to this for now during the interview, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Can everyone hear me now?
Yeah.
I feel bad for you. So, as people in the medical field, you'll think I'm a very fascinating individual. And a little FYI, if any of you are cardiac, stay away from me. Reason being, my heart is irregular and doesn't really function properly. I was born with what's known as TAPVR, total anomalous pulmonary venous return. And what that means is I have had a vein connecting to the wrong valve of my heart, in addition to having a hole in my heart. So I don't go to church, still holy, but that's beside the point. I had full-on open heart surgery at the age of 4 months old to correct it, and I'm no stranger to hospital settings. I'm 35, and I've been in and out of hospitals for various reasons my whole life. Trish,
Okay.
do you want to take over?
Sure, okay.
For another question?
Okay, next question. Due to your cardiac issues, you had a pacemaker installed in June of 2015. So just 2 days after your surgery, you were rushed to the hospital for an unrelated medical emergency. Can you describe what happened?
Yeah. Yeah. And I had a pacemaker installed. It was just, God, I feel old. That was 10 years ago. Anyway, yeah, I did later in life, about 10 years ago, I had a pacemaker installed. 2 days after that, I was at home resting up on our couch with my sister Abby, who actually is a nurse in Oakland, California at this point. Kudos to her, but I was planning on going to see the original Jurassic World with Abby, and it's a little thing like that, you remember? I asked Abby to get up to ask Abby if she's almost ready to leave. Teenage girls take forever to get ready, and as fate would have it, I got up a little too quickly. And this has got to be a universal feeling. Actually, show of hands. Has anyone here ever gotten up too quickly, gotten that dizzy, light?
Most people say yes.
Okay, majority of you. Those of you who haven't, liars. No, but no. But sorry guys. But I got up too quickly, and I was in my little, I don't know if it was the fact that I was whacked out on pain meds legally, or the fact that I got so lightheaded while on pain medicine, didn't think maybe I should sit down for a minute. I don't remember what happened. I just blacked out, woke up, couple of seconds, my arm mangled, bent backwards out of its socket, and yeah, long story short, 2 days after my pacemaker surgery collapsed, landed on my elbow and broke my arm. That's
Okay,
Trish's
well, I'm just
department.
gonna talk this out. So he wound up back at the hospital, of course, and for surgery on his arm,
Yeah,
okay? So-
yeah. And after x-ray my arm, the doctor, genius as he is, x-rays my arm and goes, Mr. Whalen, you broke your arm. Like, really? I didn't notice that. But when I fell, it hit just the right spot that it shattered my elbow, went straight up my arm, broke my funny bone. I know that wasn't humorous. A little medical humor for you. But it hurt like hell. But even though I destroyed my funny bone, my sense of humor has somehow incredibly remained intact. And I have metal and screws holding my arm together, and obviously I can't rip my arm open to show you, but what I can show you is, let's see if people on the back can see this. There we go. Kind of awkward to maneuver. Wicked, awesome, kick butt looking scar. But this is not part of it. This is my tattoo, so there's a silver lining there.
All right, so Tom.
Yeah.
Since, let's see, as I understand it, your experience with anesthesia is different than most people. And this is very common in autism, by the way. If you're studying that area, you may want to check out some of the studies that are being done. But Tom, you tell them your story.
If you're studying anesthesia, now would be a good time to pay attention. The most interesting thing I can tell you about my medical history that you don't already know until now is the anesthesia story. I don't know, it was nerves or anxiety. And when I say nerves and anxiety, it correlates back to my heart issues. Oh my God, I'm going to sleep, they're doing surgery, am I going to wake up? Or the fact that I have autism, or a combination of all three. But you know how anesthesia works. Burst, go with the face, count backwards from 10 to 0, you'll be asleep by 1. That didn't work. I made it to 0 the first time. I was still conscious on cloud 9, couldn't feel a thing, didn't want to feel a thing, but still able to communicate. I don't know what I was saying, not responsible. But I'm actually proud of that little accomplishment of like beating the anesthesiologist at their own game, and I just hope God that never happens again. Once was enough.
Okay. So since you've had your share of healthcare interactions, can you tell the audience one thing that you want them to remember when they are interacting with someone with autism?
I wrote this script with Trish when I first started. This is the hardest question by far I have to answer that I'm prepared for, because one thing is pretty much damn near impossible to do. You know, it's an autism spectrum, not an autism straight line. But for me, personally, from my perspective, I would say treat me as an everyday off-the-street person. You know, don't treat me as the guy with autism, your patient with autism. You know, speak to me as though you would anyone else. I have autism, yeah, but I have intelligence and eardrums. I hear you. I hate it when people look at my a doctor I've never been to before looks at my chart. Oh, he has autism. What does that mean? We need to talk slower or louder. You know, like I said, I have autism, sure, but I also have intelligence and eardrums. I hear you. If I'm not deaf by the time I'm 40 from people yelling, I'll be lucky. Autism impacts people in a wide variety of ways. Again, spectrum, straight line. There's no no two people on the autism spectrum, or I'm looking around, any two people in general are exactly alike. Keep this in mind when someone with autism comes into your office or hospital or just on a daily interaction. And now for my favorite part of the show, Trish has been hogging all the good questions. I'll open the floor to do any of you any questions, comments, concerns, constructive criticisms. Want me to leave anything?
Would
I'm
anybody
open to
curious?
it.
Let me ask this though. This is a question everybody asks.
Yeah.
Okay. So they want to know often, how old were you when you were diagnosed? Would you like to share that?
If they want to know, sure.
Anybody want to know that? Yeah, they want to know.
Okay. I was 7.
7 years old.
7 years old when I was diagnosed. Had no idea what it meant back then. Still trying to figure out at 35. And I should write a thesis on this. I really should. But if my theory, if you tell a 7-year-old, like, I don't remember being diagnosed, 7-year-old kid, pretty sure it's a bigger concern to my parents than it was to me. You know, like, I knew I was weird or whatever, but for a parent, I'm sure Trish can feel this one. I had to be like, oh my god, there's something wrong with my kid. But if you tell a 7-year-old kid you have autism, and that's a big word, what does that mean? But if you were to tell me today, now, as a 35-year-old, it would all kind of like fall into place, you know, but at the same time, we were like, why did you keep me in the dark for 35 years? I could have told you this 12 years ago, you know?
Anybody else want to ask a question?
Trish, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, you're not no, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So in this class, we talk a lot about language, and we try and use person-first language, like person with schizophrenia or whatever. But I know some folks with autism think differently than that. 'Cause
Right.
They see it very much as part of their identity. So
Yep.
do you prefer a person with autism or autistic person?
That's a good question. Just gonna, yeah. For me, I don't know if this is hooked up properly on my collar, but for me, not that I don't care, I've heard both, but from my perspective, autistic sounds more insulting, almost, even if that is a correct political term. I prefer person with autism because what sounds better in your opinion? You know, you're a person with autism, or you're autistic. You know, and that's just my opinion. Obviously, there's gonna be, if you ask 100 different people what with autism, they're gonna answer 100 different ways. You know, but for me, I prefer a person with autism.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah.
I was going to say, what criteria did you meet at age 7 to be diagnosed with autism?
Jesus, I was not prepared for that question. But I mean, I always felt I was weird, off, different, whatever you want to call it. But it was actually, I don't remember the way my mom describes it though, because she remembers a lot better than I do. It was actually one of my teachers in school, because I was always kind of like, for me, always, it was like, why aren't you paying attention? Why is your mind wandering? Like, in one ear out the other. It was a teacher in high school that was, not high school, I'm sorry. It was a teacher when I was 7 that was like, I think I know what's going on here. You might want to get this checked out. And here we are, 28 years later, and still carrying that diagnosis around proudly.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are there any other challenges that you've had working with people in healthcare other than things like them talking extra slowly or speaking too loudly? Are there any other kind of pet peeves you have?
Any other pet peeves? That's uh, when I tell people that and this is a little person centric for me, but when I tell people, oh yeah, I'm in the field of training medical people about autism, they immediately go to, he knows what all this medical jargon means. So they start using these medical terms on me. And me being, I'm not medically savvy, you know what I mean? I don't understand what all the terms and what all the terminology means. I'd be like, can you like dumb it down a little bit? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand what that means. But if that's my only gripe is like, apart from, people, we need to talk slower or louder. It's just they assume that I know more than I actually do, and that makes me feel like an idiot, you know?
Tom, one of the things you used to talk about too was how, like, the professional may talk to mom instead of you. And as a mom of a son who is low verbal, I always really appreciate when the professional talks to Eric first.
Yeah.
And I will, because Eric is really smart in his own way. He's not going to communicate the way that you expect. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I really appreciate them asking him. I will be there. I will tell you if he can't answer it. And I think Tom, as I remember, that's one of the concerns that he's expressed.
Yeah, so.
I think Sharon wants to say something too.
Yeah, so a lot of people on the, you'll hear about like comfort items, comfort animals. We talked a little bit about stimming, how that calms you down. Me, I don't have a comfort item. I don't have a comfort animal. I have a comfort human, if that makes sense. My mom is absolutely 100% my peace of mind. You know? So my mom's with me. My mom's with me at almost every single appointment when she can be. And I don't know, it's just a good feeling knowing, okay, somebody I know, somebody I trust, somebody who knows me better than me is in the room with me, you know?
Sharon, did you want to ask a question?
Yeah, I was thinking about it as I was sitting here listening, and I've known you a long time, Tom. A lot of people in general, but particularly a lot of young adults, struggle with anxiety and depression sometimes, through periods of that. So probably a lot of the people in the room can relate to that, or certainly a lot of college students and young adults. So I was wondering if you have experienced any of that, and if so, what were some of the coping strategies that you used or helped you kind of manage those things?
Depression, anxiety are, we talk about, spoiler alert, we talk about comorbidities during our training, so we're going to get to that in a second. But yeah, I have anxiety, depression, ADD, whatever, I have a gamut of things. But for me, it's, if something's really under my skin, I hate using this example because it actually did happen a couple of weeks ago. Like, if somebody that I know dies, and I'm not ready to talk about it, it's not family I can go to. My family is very tight knit. But if I'm not ready to talk to anybody, I'll just write or go to a comedy show or anything to get my mind off of it as a distraction.
That's great. I thought you would say that. That was good.
Trish was just waiting for the second I
I
say
was
comedy.
waiting to hear that answer, and it's exactly what I would have said.
Yeah.
He's got such a strong family support.
Yeah.
And he's a comedian. He does shows, We're.
Thank you for the free promo there, Trish. But yeah, if I'm not talking to a family about it, like sometimes if my family that's really ticking me off, like a family member, I'll go to like another family member, not talk behind their back, but like, either go to the source. If that doesn't work, just call a friend. Hey, my cousin being a jerk, can I just talk to you about this? And like any good friend, mostly they were like, yeah, sure. Then I have a very good support group, work, family, very close friends. I haven't called Trish up and been like, oh my God, I need to talk to you about my dad, but, nor will I, but.
But he could if he wanted.
I could, but it's comforting to know I have a very close support group, and yeah, it's just really comforting that I have that tight-knit group of people, very close friends, as opposed to that one friend you call, hey, I need to, again, what do you want? None of my friends are like that, so that's very helpful. Yeah, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Unless anyone else has any other questions, comments, concerns.
You can always say,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I was about to ask, how was it finding a job or looking for a job? And like, even for this program, how is it with resources finding a job?
How is it finding a job? So maybe you can talk about the program you were in and then this job.
Finding a job was hard, because I can never stay focused. First of all, my ADHD is always getting the better of me, Like, I've had multiple jobs as like a cleanup crew. Literally, you know what I mean? Like, I used to work for, you're the Husband Center here on campus. I used to work for Husband at UMBC in Catonsville. I'd be the guy sweeping up, cleaning bathrooms. Ooh, shiny object. One of those people, but yeah, I've had my fair share of crappy entry-level positions, and even those were hard to get because who wants to hire a guy that doesn't pay attention or doesn't take their job seriously, And Pathfinders was a godsend for me. It really was. And it kind of accidentally, I love saying this, it accidentally kind of like fell into my lap because my old agency handed me this checkoff sheet one day. They're like, this is 10 years ago. They're like, do you know anybody who meets these criteria? To this day, I don't know whether they were screwing with me or not, or trying to get me a job. I look at the box that says medical issues, anxiety. Oh, I'm your guy! And, me and Trish went through, like 2 trainings together, and the rest, 10 years later, the rest is history, and I've loved every single second of every training I've ever done.
And it's been a lot of them.
A lot of trainings. I'm sorry, did you?
I have a question. You can finish what you were saying. I don't mean.
It's been through, yeah, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. What was your question?
So I didn't mean to.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask: is there anything that you find difficult, like day to day, like driving, or anything that's hard for you, like on a day-to-day basis?
I don't drive. Thank God for all involved. But, yeah. Have you seen the drivers out there? No, but, day-to-day is kind of, I live day-to-day, like I don't want to say thinking ahead, but like if I'm having a good conversation with somebody, my mind will go through, okay, what am I going to say next? And not, okay, should I give any attention to what they're saying? Not you guys are fine. But day-to-day challenges are kind of like, daily chores, paying attention to parents, because I still living with my parents. I moved out for a while, moved back with my thing, but all the daily struggles I'm sure most of you guys deal with, I'm the same way, except mine may be a little more impactful, because it's just so much harder for me to, I don't know, stay motivated almost. My mind's all over the place, so there are definitely challenges, but what there are impacts all of you guys as well.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on, and they're great questions, and Tom will still be here in the end if you have some burning questions you want to ask him.
Not going anywhere, I just got here.